Hello, squirrels. Welcome back to another episode of Blind Squirrel Talk, famous in a small town. Today's guest is Melanie Weatherby. A resident of Maysville, Georgia since 2001, Melanie began working at the library in 2014 and spent 10 years serving our community. The many programs she implemented encouraged both children and adults to take advantage of the countless programs the library offers to the citizens of Maysville. We know you will enjoy meeting and learning more about Melanie Weatherby. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Blind Squirrel Talk, famous in a small town. We've got some exciting stuff going on today. I'm Lulu.
I'm Kim.
And this is Melanie Weatherby, and we're excited to have you here today. Thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
I know, and now everybody in Maysville is going to get to know you too.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
If they don't already,
They should.
Yes.
should.
Yeah.
And tell us, why should everybody in Maysville know you?
Well, I was the Maysville Public Library Manager for several years, and I worked at the library for 10 years. I've just retired from there.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Well, thank
loving
you.
retirement.
I'm loving it.
Good.
Living the life.
Yeah.
Well, I was born in Gwinnett County in Snellville, and so that's where I grew up. I went to South Gwinnett High School, and so after getting married and everything, my husband and I, we bought some land in Maysville, and that's how we, ended up here. We just found this property. My ex-in-laws lived in Pendergrass, so I kind of knew the area a little bit, and I had gone to the Maysville festivals before. And so, but where our children were going to school, they were talking about building a super Walmart adjacent to the playground. And we just didn't like that idea. And so that sort of just kick-started, well, let's build a house on the land we have. So that's what we did.
Nice.
So we wanted to get the kids sort of in a smaller school. Gwinnett County was getting so big and changing in a lot of ways. We heard talk of gangs and things like that, and it was just like kind of scary. So we decided to move up here, and the youngest one started at Maysville Elementary. Then we had two in the East Jackson Middle School, and then a high schooler.
Oh,
And they all have, went through the school system and everything.
And it
So
was wonderful.
It was good. It worked out really good for us.
And your mom is here. Was she here first?
She was not.
No.
We moved here first in 2001, and then her and my dad moved in 2005. And she just decided she liked it, and she wanted to. They lived on a busy road in Five Forks, Lilburn area. So they just decided
That area has changed.
Yes, it
Yes, it
has.
has.
For the better.
But my dad sort of drug his feet a little. I mean, my mom was wanting a new house and all this stuff, and he was born in the Five Forks area, and so he just really wasn't sure about it. But I think he was happy. He ended up passing away in 16, so he lived up here 10 years, and I think he grew to really like it a lot, the quiet country. And
So how long were you here before you started working at the library?
let's see, we moved in 01, and so I started at the library in 14.
Were you a regular there? Did you?
No. In fact, the thing that got me going to the library was Mom started going to Zumba class there. So I started going to Zumba class, and at the time I was working for the hospital in Athens.
Okay.
It was Athens Regional at the time. And so when I left there, I went to Zumba one night, and then they were like, we have an opening, a part-time opening. And so I applied, and that was it. So
The rest is history.
the rest is history.
So you really saw our little Maysville Library kind of grow over the years that you were there. So what were some of the challenges that you saw when you first got there? And what were some things you were able to accomplish or get done, or were you able to?
Well, when I started, I was a part-time employee. So I worked under a couple of managers before I became manager. So, the first manager, they had just built that children's room, and I just thought that was fabulous. And so the kids had a place to go. And just over time, we just acquired more materials and started more programs. And as each manager came along, everybody does things differently. And so, but the programs, when I was manager, we did like performance things, magicians and petting zoos and singers, fiddle players and all these kinds of things. So I thought that was fun. And I had never seen that at a library, even taking my children when they were little. It was, summer reading was, you go in, you check out books, look at your log, that's it. There was no fun things.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, you've done a lot over there.
I hope to think so, because it was challenging because when the manager left, they didn't have anybody, and I just sort of got pushed in.
And you worked alone for quite a while.
I worked alone until your daughter started in July. So that was from March to July. I worked by myself, and that is challenging.
Yes.
Because it's hard to take lunch. It's hard. You don't have anybody backing you up. So, but that was a challenge. That was a challenge.
But you did a lot. I mean, the Christmas parties you threw were awesome.
They
the
were
Halloween.
Those were our big bashes, and then end of summer reading. And it's so exciting to see a kid excited about reading, because with everything else they have going on, it's like you don't think reading would be something they would get excited about, but they do.
I love reading. I think you can escape in the book, and
I do too. I love to read just about anything, books, newspaper, on the internet, magazine, whatever. I just love to read.
When you first came to Maysville, what were some of the things that you wanted to see change, or even now? Like, you've been here 20, how many years?
It was 01, so 23 this October.
23 years. So you've seen changes. You've seen the growth. What do you think about everything you've seen?
Well, I think it's good. When I first moved here, they didn't have a lot of the conveniences that we had in Gwinnett, even though I wanted to move from Gwinnett. And I found myself going back and forth to Gwinnett, and my husband was like, "You're going to have to stop this, because I'm sure you can find an Eckerd drug closer than Snellville." I kept going back to my old haunts and stuff.
Right.
So as they built more things, and
Banks Crossing has come a long way.
yeah, Banks Crossing has changed a lot. And now with the new traffic and everything, now I have to say, I think it's good, because I think it may alleviate wrecks and the tie-ups and stuff. I know a lot of people are not as happy, but it's just...
I'm getting used to how you have to,
Yes.
when I thought I could turn one way to get somewhere, I can't
that
anymore.
turn at Pizza Hut, and it's like, oh, where am I going?
Can't go there anymore.
I know. So, but yeah, I mean, like, they built a new Ingalls after we moved here, and we got a CVS and a Walgreens, and so all these things. I'd like to see more sit-down restaurants, not hamburger places, not fast food type, but a sit-down, seafood or Italian or just something like that.
Me too.
Whether it's here in Maysville, whether it's in Banks Crossing or Commerce, whatever.
I'd like to see more restaurants here.
I would too.
Yeah,
Yes.
because as soon as we get sidewalks, we'll be a walking community.
Which our sidewalk grant has gone through and should be
That's
starting
great.
this month.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. An ice cream place.
Everybody says ice
I
cream.
want
They
an
do.
ice cream place.
They
I mean, that's
do.
just a great way just to end your day, and summertime is awesome.
Yeah.
So, but I like Maysville. I like the quaintness of it, but I would like to see it thrive.
Yeah.
Me too.
So the main difference between people in Maysville and people in Gwinnett, what would you have to say it is?
Oh my gosh, people in Maysville, it's just a slower pace, I think. I mean, in Gwinnett, I still go down there for doctor's appointments occasionally. I don't go as much as I ever used to, but I am a nervous wreck when I get home by the traffic, and they're just so fast, and everything's moving so fast, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So, but I just love it when I, get off that Dry Pond exit and here, I'm home.
Yeah.
I'm coming home to the chicken houses and,
Yep.
and whatever, but it's so much better.
And everything slows down.
And everything slows down. We sit out on the porch at night, and
People speak and wave and
they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have neighbors, and we're so far apart from the neighbors, but everybody waves and says
Yeah.
hello and stuff.
So did you ever come to the Maysville Festival prior to living here? Okay.
Yes. My ex-mother-in-law, they lived over on Dry Pond Road. And a couple of times she's like, oh, let's go to the festival. And so I came up here and went. I thought it was so fun.
Yeah.
And then when we first moved, the kids were just, they just loved it because they could just be let loose.
And it's safe.
Yes.
It felt,
and
you
all
didn't
their
have to
friends
worry.
were walking around, and they were all middle school age and stuff. And we started going. And then I attended Maysville Methodist Church at the time, and we did a huge chicken queue. So it was a full day of working and meeting people. That was really, that made you feel like you were just part of the small town.
Yeah.
You know.
Sense of community.
Yes. And I still love the festival. I haven't missed a year. So at least going up there and walking
Yeah.
around and stuff. But all the years at the library, we've done floats in the parade. And I always thought that was one of the most fun things about the library was decorating a float and all that stuff. So.
And the volume of people, that turn out for the parade is
unbelievable.
Where do they come from?
I don't know, but all over, all of a sudden they're just there.
Thousands. There must be 20 tons of candy being thrown.
I mean, how much is, wow. we have so much and we still run out every time we make that curve.
Yeah, right at the tracks. No more candy.
When we try to pace ourselves and it never works. It just doesn't. But it's just so fun to see the little kids' faces and stuff. But I had heard one time that 20,000 people come through a weekend. Is that true, like, for the festival?
Probably,
yeah.
Not just the parade, but
well,
just the
it
whole
used to be
weekend.
the largest festival in the Northeast Georgia at one time. I mean, I know it's probably been 30 years, but I mean, that's saying something for our little piece of real estate.
And where do just everybody knows about it?
I guess.
So if you got to pick out one thing that's your favorite thing about
gosh.
Maysville, what's it going to be?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I would just really have to say just the small town feel. And that when you go somewhere, you usually see somebody you know, and that's kind of fun and stuff. Because in Gwinnett, it's just not that way anymore. Almost all my high school friends have moved. Just everybody is scattered. But here, it's just like you just see somebody you know. And through the library, I've met a lot of people and stuff. And the little kids that were in story time way back, oh my gosh, they're middle schoolers now. And they still say, it's the library lady. So that was fun. But
And you're still volunteering up there.
I do. And we have book club and craft club and all that stuff. So, by the way, book club is next week.
What day?
It's on the 12th, but we're going up to Livonia to eat at the 211 Main.
Oh, I heard
the
that's
Amish.
a good restaurant.
Yes. So if you want to hitch a ride, me and my mother's going.
What day is the 12th?
It's a Thursday.
Okay.
So the book club is the second Thursday of the month?
The
or-
book club is the second Thursday, and craft club is the first Monday.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I still do that, and I still work for my church. So Maysville Methodist, which is where I went to church, became Stone Path.
Okay.
So it's essentially it was still the Methodist church, but it's now just we got out of the Methodist organization, and so I work there, and I work from home, and I love that.
Yeah.
I've been doing that 20 years. Almost as soon as I came here, we started going to that church, and then within 2 years, they're like, "Would you like to be the secretary?" I was like, "Well, okay." And first, it was
I
volunteer.
didn't know you did that when you were working the library too.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
You're busy.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Especially when you have board meetings and you work, and then you got to go straight to a board meeting. It's kind of tiring.
Right.
Sometimes. I know you know how that is. You have meetings and meetings.
And then more meetings.
Yes.
But it's worth it.
Yes.
Well, Melanie, we're just tickled to know you, to be part of your community.
It has been a joy meeting you guys.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. This was really fun.
Yeah.
get to
We
talk about
appreciate your
yourself.
time.
And now y'all know Melanie Weatherby. All right. We appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of Blind Squirrel Talk, famous in a small town. I'm Lulu.
I'm Kim.
I'm Melanie.
Yes. And we appreciate y'all.
Bye.
See you next time.